All right. It looks like I am live. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Tammi Morrison, and I am doing lessons from the Queen inspired by the Bridgerton series on Netflix. So I've made sure that I clarify that because I'm not talking about, the real Queen Charlotte and digging into all of that history and all of that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the lessons learned from the television show on Netflix. So, for those of you that don't know me, I am a spiritual teacher, mentor, and intuitive healer. I'm an author, a transformational speaker, a wife, a mother, grandmother, all of those things. So, today I'm talking about lessons learned from a queen. She was amazing. I mean, that show, I loved it so much. It was just so good. And I learned so many things through watching it. And so one of the things that I saw that she did was she had to embody her sacred archetype. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about sacred archetypes so that you can understand what those are. And so in general, sacred archetypes are patterns of behavior that aid and influence our mental, emotional, and spiritual growth as human beings. So basically is who we are embodying. So we are embodying a high priestess, or we embodying a queen. From a metaphysical perspective, archetypes are types of energies that form the underlying framework of reality. Like many pieces of the puzzle, archetypes are separate and easily definable qualities that compose the whole. But for our purposes, we're just going to talk a little bit about some of the archetypes that this queen embodied. And so she embodied the archetype of the queen, actually. She embodied the archetype of the queen because she wasn't born a queen. She was born a princess. And so she ended up embodying that particular skill as well so that she could step into the role that she was being called to do. Now, she also, and many people probably didn't see this, but I saw this when I was watching that show, she also embodied the seductress archetype. Now, what that is fully connected to her sacred sexuality. And so when I say that because of how she wiggled in her relationship with the king. Now, we know by watching that show that the king has some mental issues, and they tried really hard to keep her away from it. I think they just didn't believe that she would be able to handle it because everybody else kind of knew. And it was like everybody knew but her. And then when she figured out the secret, she was able to use her power as a seductress in order to, get next to the king so that she could procreate and so that she could produce some heirs for the king. So that she basically could secure her place in that society, because that was what she had to do in order to secure her place in that society. She had to woo the king. And some of the qualities of seductress is sensuality, sexuality, confidence, passion, independence, which she was definitely that, deep communication, natural magnetism. And so that was one of the things that she had to cultivate in order to be the queen and do the things that she needed to do as a result of having that job or that title. So there are all kinds of different archetypes. There's the mother archetype, which is one of the archetypes that she also embodied because it is an expression of nurturing and caring side of a woman. So she had to have all those children. I think she had 15 children, and I think they say 13 survived. So she had to have some type of expression of nurturing and caring side of the woman. And so she stepped into that and she began to embody that for herself. She began to embody the desire to create life and to provide, physical, mental, and spiritual sustenance for her children. Although she also desired for them to mate and to, get suitable mates according to what was suitable at the time. And she desired for them to procreate. So they were supposed to have children, to help the lineage. So that was one of the things that I saw in her. One of the archetypes that she embodied was the mother. And so she had compassion to a point, nurturing. She had persistence, and she also was grounded as well. She had a desire to protect and nourish and take care of others. All of those things embodying the mother archetype. Now, there are so many different archetypes, to be honest with you. I think I read somewhere that there were something like 173 different archetypes. But she was able to embody some of these. Like, she embodied the enchantress, just because, she was at that place where she was a young girl when she started there, and she had to survive, because she didn't have any family around her. She had some ladies in waiting. She had her good friend, Lady Danbury, but that is what she decided to embody. And so in order to do that, it's one of those things that we all want to embody. And so because she had so much wisdom, and she matured like really, really quickly, because she had to. She began to get clarity, and she had boldness. She had personal power. And so this was something that, matter of fact, as we go along in our life, we embody different archetypes, different ones, not the same, and we also deal with the shadow side of the archetype. Like for the enchantress shadow side, they can lose their sense of self, feel empty and unfulfilled, lack purpose, miss out on the opportunity to rediscover herself. And so, as you could see in the show, she actually kind of was entreating those shadows a little bit, because she was feeling like she wasn't able to accomplish all the things that she felt like she should accomplish as the queen. And then she felt like she had to get her children to the place so that they understood their purpose and what they were supposed to do in this life. So she also embodied the healer archetype. She did, because she took that king, and she was able to talk to him and get into him on a level that nobody else could. So she embodied her healer archetype. She had a love for him that, it was hard to understand, to be honest, because he was really not right. But she had patience for him, and she had compassion. And she also was present in the moment. She also was supportive of him, and she nourished him, even though people tried to keep her away from him. But she embodied that, because that is who she became. She became that person. And then she felt responsible as well for her household, and really for all of England at the time, because she was the Queen of England. So in embodying all of these things, embodying these archetypes, she was able to produce that legacy for the king that she needed to do. Let's see. She was able to recognize that every creative expression she manifests is done with the co-creation with the divine. So that was one of the things that she had to do in order to be who she had to be. So when you think about it, there are so many different archetypes, and I could go on and talk about even more that she embodied, because she also embodied the priestess. She embodied that because she began to really tune into her intuition and trust the guidance that she was receiving. And so that typically is, one of the things that the priestess archetype does, aligns with your highest value and your spiritual purpose. And so she knew what she was supposed to do. And so those were some of the things that I learned and lessons that came from this queen, because you can watch things and then you can see how things end up, at a place where nobody really realizes they're going to go. And so with this queen, she was, I call her a badass. That's what I think. I think she was a badass. And so she embodied a strong archetype as well. So anyway, but those are the things, those are some of the lessons that I learned watching the Queen Charlotte. And so for me, it said something because I know a little bit about archetypes and actually help you to step into the archetype that you are, if you were to work with me. Because once you begin to see that archetype and who you are, and you begin to step into it and embody it, then you become it. Then nobody can tell you anything. Nobody can take it away from you. Nobody can tell you anything. They just know that that is who you are, because you have embodied that and you've put yourself in that place. Okay, so anyway, that is really about all I have for you today. I wanted to share this because, these things were on my heart. Although I think I was supposed to be on Tuesday. So you got a bonus. But I'll be back on Tuesday sharing this as well. And then I want to invite you all to a workshop that I'm doing Saturday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time on the Bach flower remedies. Now, those are remedies that are just amazing tools to help you heal on an emotional level. And also what it does is I create them according to the chakra that is that you're having issues with. So like if you're having root chakra issues, there are root chakra remedies, solar plexus, and I can speak on that because I actually took the solar plexus remedies. I'm taking them now to help me because I needed help with my digestive system. And so I know that the solar plexus is related to, the digestive system is covered by the solar plexus chakra. So I am super, super excited to share that. So I would love it if you would come and join me on this workshop. I have posted it. It's going to be on Zoom, but I will stream it into my group on Facebook. I will actually also, I can't think about how to do that on here. I was going to say I could DM. I don't know. I might could put the sign up link in the bio. I got to think about, see how to do that. Otherwise, you can DM me and I can send you the sign up link on Instagram or someplace where you can click the link. So anyhow, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for joining me. And look forward to seeing me possibly tomorrow on Friday live with Coach LT. But definitely on Saturday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And as I said, it is on Zoom. I have the Zoom link already created. And if you are following me on Facebook, you can go on there and see it on my page. And I'll figure out a way to put it over here. I don't know how to do it, but I'll figure it out. But anyway, thank you for joining me. And if you would like to join me on that, I would love to see you. So again, have a wonderful rest of your day, night, evening, weekend, whatever it is for you. Have a good day. Bye now.
Baby, you be giving up so much of the movie.